Yes, that's Santa roasting his nuts on an open fire. It's a cheesy Christmas sweater, and I like it. Hey, everybody, welcome to the Dad Challenge Podcast. My name's Josh. Happy Snarkmas. We're on day something. 9? I think we're on day 9. That's cool. I'm doing a video every day this month, just so you're aware. Just keeping it real, yeah? Keeping it real, yeah? And today we're talking about April and Stanky. I mean, April and Davey. They did a video someone says just to take a look at about how they're talking about one of their kids was approached in public, and yet these people still don't realize that this is on you. Every time something like this happens, or if anything will ever happen, it's on you. Don't forget, this is the couple whose kid stabbed a kid in school. This is the couple. This kid literally didn't get to go to jail because of his parents. They're Mormon. I don't know. I don't know what happened. This kid should be in prison. Don't forget, this is the family that raised this. And they show you how perfect their life is, except their kid's out stabbing people at school. Okay, it's insanity. So let's spin the wheel, do a little dance. Someone's gonna win a prize, and we'll talk about the video. Emma Henderson, reach out to Josh at the dadchallengepodcast.com with your shirt size and your address, and I'm gonna hook you up. Otherwise, let's get to the video.
It's that time of year. DCP's here to snark and to jeer for these buttholes to hear. Don't forget to book your pap smear. Snarkmas 2023.
Ho, ho, ho! Nana, you son of a bitch!
So I haven't done a video on these guys in a long time. I think the last one I did was actually the video about their son who should be in jail right now, right? And the fact that people are actually scared of these people. So the funniest part, not funny, the scariest part, I guess is, and funny, whatever, is that these people always come across like they have it all together, like their families are amazing, and they never show you the hard stuff, right? They say they do, but they don't. But they will exploit their children's going to hospital, all their major events. But you think they're going to do a video? My son stabbed another guy at school. You think they're going to do a video on that? No. Okay? But they pretend like everything's all together. And is that a bad thing necessarily? Not necessarily. I mean, we all use social media to that degree. We all pretend it's all together. We're not going to post our most gross moments. But these family vloggers, they always run out of content. But and the funniest part is, not funny, I keep saying funny, it's not funny. The grossest part is that they will exploit craziness in their family, except for when it's too crazy, do you know what I mean? And they will actually send lawyers and everything after these people who are willing to whistleblow on them to the point that they just don't want to deal with it. Right? Because you get a letter from a lawyer, that's scary. I get lots, I don't care anymore. And I'm not scared. And the reason I'm not scared is because I don't lie, right? I'm not making up lies about these people. I'm just saying it, I'm just reacting to the content that they put on the internet. But the families that are hurt by these families, specifically this kind of group, they were like threatened a lot. And so these people are actually scary. In real life, they are scary. Imagine the audacity of you to your son literally cuts and stabs another kid, and then you go after them legally. Could you, like, I cannot, like, I wish these people would whistleblow. There are so many families that are scared of them in their own neighborhood, by the way. And these people come across like they're all good. Don't forget, they were connected to 8 passengers in Ruby and probably literally believe the same stuff. All these people went to all the same types of parties, if you know what I mean. Do you know what I'm saying? Like that one guy that whistleblew on these families who got together and did some craziness. Just saying, you know what I'm saying? That's these guys. And this guy, like, remember he were a budgie smuggler on a vacation with 8 passengers? That's him. That's this guy. So apparently in this video, it's called He Crossed the Line, and I think it has something to do with a kid being approached in public. So let's go through this video and we'll talk about it.
We need a report on your horse. Alice has been taking horse riding lessons. Welcome to your new pool!
Don't touch
I hate this guy's voice. I hate it.
my child. Don't touch my child.
April and Scaby. Hi, we're laughing. Scabies. That kid right there. He's the kid who stabbed another kid, by the way. And so some people will be like, why are you putting it on the internet? Because he stabbed a kid and got away with it. That's why I'm putting it on the internet. He should not be able to live this down. I think he's close to an adult now. I think he's 18 now. I don't think he should be able to get away with that. And this family just, sorry. If you stab another person, you're on the internet now. And you know what? It's almost like I don't want to say he's he's a victim and he's a victimizer, because he absolutely is a victimizer. But he's also a victim of this channel, of being on this channel and being exploited his whole life too. So it's he lost already in so many ways. And apparently it's not just like he's done this, not stab, but he's been like this type of kid forever. And the fact that you don't know it on this channel is everything you need to know about family vlogging. They are not actually the people that they portray themselves to be, which is a lie, by the way, and it's fake. And that's why I hate all these people.
All right, guys, checking in here.
Nice sunglasses, wanker. Looks like he's a speed walker, right? Totally. Probably rides a really, really expensive bike, but is bad at it. You know? Too hairy, blonde, beard, weirdo. Looks like the villain in a Batman movie.
I am going to rent a compactor for the garden box area. We got road base.
You're a garden box.
It's down. We're gonna wet it and compact it, and then start building garden boxes. So I'm off to go rent that. I went for a run this morning, and I just had a little.
Did you run from the cops?
Thought. Well, it was actually last Sunday. We were in church.
Imagine going to church with the kids and one of your kids stabbed another kid that goes to the same church. Imagine that. Imagine that.
We're with some of the youth, and me and another adult were in there, and the discussion came up where they started talking about like how hard life is.
See, they'll do a video on how hard life is with the youth group, but you don't know unless I told you, and some other people whistle blew a little bit on this, but they had to take it all down, by the way, that their son literally should be in prison right now.
And the other adult that was in the room, he was like, man, life, I would go back anytime to be in your guys' age, because life was so easy. Life was so easy.
Was it easy for your son who stabbed somebody else? Interesting.
Yeah, so much to do. I gotta work and take care of a family and
exploit your family, is that what you meant to say? Your work is literally exploiting your family. Get wrecked. These people don't have jobs. That's another thing that really bothers me, is that they want to be like, look, we're normal peeps. Oh my gosh, things light up. That's good. We're normal. We do jobs. You don't do anything, buddy. All you do is exploit your family. That's it. That's what your whole entire job is. You're not a real man. You're not a real dad. You don't protect your family. You're nothing. You're a loser, bro. Loser.
Classes and all these things, and just life is so hard right now. Go back to your time. It was so easy for you guys. And I was kind of like, well, I mean, I don't think it's really fair to compare, because
you don't get to compare, dude, because you don't have a real job. You don't actually have the real responsibilities of 99% of the rest of the world. Okay? Most people get up, go to work, provide for the family, protect their family. You don't. You turn a camera on to your ugly mug. You look like you need to, I'm not going to say it, but he needs things like vitamin D. Okay? And you make money by exploiting children. So don't sit here and say like, you're right. You're working hard. Shut up.
Phase of life that you're in, the things that you're struggling with, that's hard. Hard is hard, and it's not okay. It's not.
What? What are you saying?
Really good or healthy to compare, because, like, say Frankie, he's a 4-year-old. The things he's going through, they're hard for him, and they're just
filling space on this 20. It's just filling space. Imagine just turning a camera on, not saying anything at all. Not even be able to tell a good funny story. They're not funny. Who's watching this? Like, you have not said anything in here that has any value to anybody. It's not funny. It's not even quirky. It's not interesting. It's absolute hot garbage.
Comparing to us, or we're like, oh, the toughest thing in your life is whether or not you're gonna get a treat.
Wow. Or your tough thing in your son's life is whether or not he was going to go to jail, which he should have.
Or whatever it is. They're just these little insignificant things, but they're everything to him and to when I was in high school, the struggles I was going through.
Don't forget, too, and I just remembered that they hired like one of the best lawyers in their state to do this, and that lawyer went after the parents and everybody else. Like, hired like a friggin' crazy, like they probably spent a lot of their money to get this done, to get keep his kid out of jail. Because if the kid actually would have went to jail, it would have been a pretty big deal in the family vlogging world. Like, Ruby goes to jail, it was a huge deal. If this guy's kid went to jail, that would have been a big deal. Probably would have shut down their channel. It was in his best interest monetarily and everything to save their whole vlog is to get this thing done. So they hired like a shark lawyer to do it. And apparently it worked, which is crazy to me.
They were everything. They were so hard. And like getting cut from the basketball team, having acne, just the things I was going through, those were incredibly hard for me.
You suck at basketball. Sucks to be you. Go do something else.
But I mean, looking back now, I'm like, you know what? Life was pretty easy back then. But I think I guess my point is, comparison is probably never a good idea. I think but you can kind of compare to yourself and just
Where do you even buy sunglasses like this? It's like Baby Shark.
the longer you live and experience things, you gain perspective. And, you know, even the hardest thing that a human can go through compared to
Is near-death stabbing?
what the Savior went through, it's nothing.
Ah, the Savior. The Savior. Right. These freaking Mormons.
It's absolutely nothing. Even the very hardest work life that somebody has.
Has a Mormon ever yet answered my question? If you had to take 2 books, you're in a burning room, okay? And you can only grab 1 book and get out. Okay? You can only grab 1. Which one are you grabbing? Book of Mormon? Bible. And when you ask that question, they get so mad. So the reason why I ask crazy questions is because I want your reaction. Don't care about your answer. Your reaction is everything. And it is your answer, by the way. Some people will ask some of the simplest questions in the world where we are right now. And I mean, it's like I'm on Twitter, so doom scrolling all day long. Lots of debates about everything, right? You can ask simple questions. And sometimes simple questions will get people so fired up. They're like, why even ask? Like they don't want to answer it. And that is your answer, if you didn't know. Just so you're aware. Dummies.
But that's not to discount it because everything is hard, relatively speaking. And so,
I'd love to know how much they spent on that lawyer.
I guess my point is, don't compare yourself to others. It's kind of like grief, you know?
Thanks for the talk, dad of a stabber.
Say somebody's dealing with one thing, it's kind of this.
And here's another thing about that. And I think I did talk about this in the video about them and the stabbing. Is that if my son did this, like, obviously they're still my son. Obviously I'm going to stand by them, but I'm not going to condone what they did and try to like alleviate the outcome of it. Right? You did it. I'm here with you. We'll do what we can. But you did something absolutely insane and you're going to have to face the consequences of your actions. Whereas this kid now knows he could pretty much almost literally kill somebody and get away with it. You didn't teach your kid anything except for that you have a lot of money and money gets you other things, right? That's what you taught your kid here. So that's not good parenting, by the way. That is not good parenting. That's really, really trashy parenting because they're going to end up raising their kids like that too.
Same concept where if somebody has this really hard thing they're going through and somebody's like, oh, it's not that bad, you could be going through this, but grief is like all encompassing. Whatever.
You suck at talking. Stop. Talk about something else.
Difficult,
this is garbage.
You're going through, that's everything for you. It's like smoke. It fills a room. It doesn't matter how big the room is. It's gonna feel it. So give each other a little grace. Don't compare with others, and just hang in there.
Yeah, I'm better than you. We're all better than you. I'll compare myself to you any day. You're a terrible piece of trash.
And eventually, we get more and more perspective on life, and I think that helps you. That helps you give other people more grace. Some of the nicest people I know, where they're just a light and they're so nice and you just love being around them. Some of those people.
That's not you though, dude. No one wants to be around you. It's really obvious too when family vloggers have 0 friends unless they're other vloggers. If you see a family vlogger there that you stand for some reason, I don't know why you would, but notice who their friends are. Just saying. Okay? They don't have any normal friends in real life because as soon as people find out who they really are, they don't want to be their friend. They don't want to be in their videos and stuff like that. But it's very, very telling that none of these people actually have friends. And they were really, really close with Ruby and Kevin, Frankie, just so you're aware. Like, uber close. Vacationing with them, close friends. Kids are all friends. So likely they all parent similar. They all probably think the same thing. They're all like that, man. They're all gross. I mean, to what point do you have a child that is capable of stabbing another person? Like, where did he get that behavior? Where was that exhibited from? Right? Most kids are brought up, and the behavior is learned, by the way. Unfortunately, A lot of kids are learning their behavior from TikTok and social media, which really sucks. But kids always mirror what they observe. Okay? Which is why my kid was never going to be on social media until they're at least mature enough to like not have that be their developmental years. And developmental years are really, really important for kids. Please do me a favor. If you have a child who's in their developmental years, and I mean grade school, okay, up into the point of like even grade 9, grade 10, I think that point you can start like really having a hard conversation with the kids. Do not let them be influenced by people on the internet, because it's going to end badly. It really, really will. Okay, influence is huge. That's why influencers get paid lots of money. They can influence people to do things, good or bad. People have great big platforms and they use their influence wisely, and it's awesome. Then there are people like this. Okay, influence is important. So where did that kid get that influence enough to the point where they were going to do something like that? Why is it that these kids of these family vloggers, a lot of them are just, they're not put together very well, because, and it's not the kid's fault, it's always the parents' fault, the Duggars, right? You look at Little People, Big World, there's a lot of crazy stuff going on in that family. You look at 8 Passengers. You look at this guy and his son that stabbed somebody. There's always something going on, because these people don't actually raise their children. They film them.
Been through some of the hardest things in their life, and you know, they've been through that refiner's fire where they're just so nice. So
I don't even know what this guy's saying anymore. Shut up.
I don't know, just some random thoughts that have been happening while I'm driving here.
Yeah, they're terrible. You suck at this.
So that's it. I'm gonna go get the compactor and go compact some road bed. It's really good. I just went with the standard Douglas fir. I'll just go through kind of how I built it and a little bit of research. There's a few different kinds of wood. I think cedar. And,
Don't care.
I don't know. 84 pieces, 2 by 8 by 8 feet. Holy cow. Oh, look what we got.
Look what exploiting children gets you, right? Not only do you not really do a job, but you like actually live the lap of luxury because you exploit your children to get there. This is one thing I'll never get over, and I'll never stop talking about, is family vloggers in general. All of their wealth, all of their fame is built off the backs of their children, all of it. And the kids get to live there initially, but the kids always come out on the other side, generally 99% of them come out on the other side fully hating what happened to them. They don't care that you have a house, that they had a pool growing up. They don't care about that. What they care about is their future. And they don't actually realize it until they're there. Right? That's the crazy. That's why consent matters, and that's why you'll never be able to get it. Like, we don't even have to ask the question. Do you believe in consent? Because everybody has to agree that yes, of course I believe in consent. Well, then you will never be able to film your child ever and have a moral high ground ever. You will never get their informed consent because it is impossible to get. Always.
Install today. The lights.
Maybe you can put it in focus.
I love it. The electricians came out. Sorry it's so dark, guys. It gets dark at like noon.
Yeah.
On your horse, 8.
I don't care.
It's the same as
Let's get to the story here.
8. That's the place we stayed in St. George. Looks cool, huh?
They don't even care. They're like, man, look at my pool. We're so rich.
You knew it. Nope. I've been building another garden box and giving Jimmy Joe a rub.
Nope. These people hate each other.
I just remembered yesterday an incident that happened at EV's
So,
doctor's appointment.
Doctor's appointment. Okay, so here's what they do. Anything that ever happens with their children. Now, she's about to tell you something that probably happened with EB, one of their kids that went to a doctor's appointment. But they won't talk to you about when their child almost killed another child, right? But they'll exploit this stuff. It's very telling about what they choose to show you. And which means stop believing any family vlogger ever at all times.
That really bugged me, and I don't think I even told Davey about it. It's like it happened so fast, and it traumatized me, and then like...
So it traumatized... So don't throw around words like this unless it traumatized you, because if it just happened so fast and you forgot to tell your husband about something that was super traumatizing, it wasn't. But they have to make and fake everything because they have no content. Look at their video so far. It's garbage. Guys drive around being like, don't compare, and then here's some wood boxes. That's just what they're putting on the internet. And they actually get views. Crazy to me. What are their view counts? Actually, I haven't checked them in a long time. Look at this. They got a video up here. Here, I'll show you. They got a video up here right now. It's called Heartbroken. And it's all about how another family member is diagnosed with arthritis. A different family member. Heartbroken. They don't care who they exploit, right? But so one day ago, this family's dead. 6 days ago, 22,000 views. They're surviving on barely nothing. But if you look at their channel here, they did 264 million views. So they had their heyday. It's gone, obviously, already. They still make a decent amount of money, but they made millions on this channel. Millions of dollars. And maybe they put it away because a lot of Mormons don't have vices. They don't drink and party. Well, these ones party with other Mormons, you know what I'm saying? So, but they don't have a ton of vice. They travel a little bit. Maybe they put it away. Maybe they buy businesses, but they don't look like they're doing too bad. But their view counts are just absolutely trash because their most popular view is 25 million views, by the way, and it is how to make a swimmable mermaid tail. So it's little girls in a bathing suit on their thumbnail, and you wonder why it's got 25 million views. That's why, right? House tour shows a giant mansion that they didn't move into, 12 million views. At their height, this family, even a few years ago when I started, I like to look back at when I started covering family vloggers because that's kind of at the heyday. It's when Micah was making her millions doing that stuff, and that's like about 3 years ago. So we like to look back. These guys do like 5 videos a week, so they are the amount of stuff that's probably on the internet with this family is insane. Okay, but they don't, even a year ago, they're 18,000, 20,000, like, they're not making a lot of money. So again, they probably have something else. So the point where you're not making anything and you still exploit your kids, that should be very telling about what type of person you are. Holy smokes, I gotta, like, this, so many videos. So you're 2 years ago, or like triple the view count they're getting right now. Actually, more than that. 2 years ago, they're doing about 81,000, 100,000, 60,000, 100,000, right? They're doing about 10,000 right now. So they're doing like a tenth. They're doing like a tiny percentage of what they used to even 2 years ago. Okay, so they're pulling in millions of dollars 2 years ago. Not millions, hundreds of thousands. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands. So let's keep going here. Oh no, they're still getting less. Like, these guys weren't getting tons of views even 2 years ago. So maybe they were just like garbagey. Well, they've got one that has 25 million views, and that's crazy. Here we go. 3 years ago, 94,000, 30,000, 51,000, like triple what they were doing now. So they've never been really actually that big, but they've made some money. Here you go. April and Davey, they have 637,000 subscribers, 264 million views, B grade. They're losing subscribers. They're like bleeding subscribers. So when you ever see a negative number, you could like quadruple that. Okay, a vlogger with 600,000 subscribers should be gaining. They're losing. That's a huge deal. Okay, so they're losing thousands and thousands of subscribers a month. And they do 646,000 views this month. I don't doubt they do shorts. That's not bad. Probably pays their mortgage, maybe. So they have other business ventures, of course. Otherwise, they would not keep doing this because they would be able to survive.
And then we went into the doctor's office, and then I got good news, and then I totally forgot about this, and today I was like reminded of it. So
traumatizing.
When we got into the elevator going up to the doctor's office, a doctor and then an old...
Her fingers are really weird, long fingers. Like a witch's fingers.
Old man they were like just...
Holy. Tara Henderson hands here, tennis racket.
Total strangers. And me and Evie got on the elevator.
Evie and I.
All at the same time. And the old man struck up a conversation with Evie and was like, "Oh, you're so smart. I should have brought a blankie." And she immediately kind of just like got quiet and was like, "I don't want to talk to you."
Yeah, because kids are shy.
And I was just like smiling like, "Oh, he's..."
Is she about to talk about consent, about talking to her daughter? Is she really about to say that? Like, you could tell that Evie didn't want to talk, so she's about saying that. That's interesting. That's interesting. Right? That you do this to your children. Interesting. That you care when a stranger wants to talk to her, and she's like, you can tell she didn't want to. You can't get consent from your children for what you're doing either. You know that, right?
Being polite, you know. And she didn't respond to him, and then he said, "Don't hide that smile." And then he got close to her, and I immediately like went into like panic mode because I could see him just...
She's making this up. She can go to panic mode. There's nothing. It's an old dude in an elevator being an old dude. I'm not saying it's appropriate, but at the same time, you know she's just going to embellish the crap out of this. Like, this guy probably pulled out a machete, right? He's part of the CIA. Something's going to be crazy. Like, they embellish the crap out of this. It's probably a 5-second interaction on a thing, and she has to make it. Because, look, the video is called He Crossed the Line. Because they don't have anything else to talk about. And they got to clickbait their videos.
It's like getting close to her, and I was just like, in my head, I was like, "Don't touch my child. Don't touch my child."
Why in your head? And why are you so loud in your kitchen? Why just in your head? Just like, "Don't touch my child." Why not say it out loud? if it's so traumatizing?
He's gonna touch.
Again, she talks about this thing like it was the most traumatizing thing. Then you would have reacted in a way. If it's so traumatizing, why are you saying it in your head?
Sure. And he did. Sure enough, he reached out. He's like, when you hide that smile, I can see the dimple, and he touched her face like this.
Yeah, don't do that. Don't touch children. That aren't yours.
And I immediately was just like sick, and I wanted to like hit his hand.
You should have. You should have. Hey, don't touch my kid, old man. See, she talks about it. It's like, oh my gosh, it was so traumatizing. And fix it. Don't do the thing you did.
I wanted to scream like, don't touch my kid! But I was just kind of like in shock because I was just like, why are you touching my daughter? And she...
See, she's lying. Because if it was so traumatizing and you're going to be sick and all these things and you're reacting in a way, but then you say you didn't do anything about it, then you're lying. You lie.
He was super uncomfortable, and it was just like this tension in the elevator. We're stuck in the elevator, so I didn't want to like overreact because I'm like stuck in the elevator with this guy, and I'm just like... And so I kind of like stood in front of her, like blocked her, and I was just kind of like, I'm like visibly uncomfortable. And then
It's interesting that she wants everybody to pick up on the visible uncomfortableness and the taking away the consent of talking, yet they exploit their children. You can't make it up, people. You cannot. Every time one of these vloggers talks about their kids and the interactions of the public like this, in this way, they never ever have the wherewithal to see the irony of what they're saying, ever. They're like, I mean, like, you put your kid on the internet.
Elevator like opened and we all got off, and then he like followed us into the waiting area, and
So you're saying you're making it sound like this guy was like stalking you in the waiting area. They were going to the same spot. So don't say he was following you. You were all going to the same spot. See, she's embellishing it. They all do this too, and they don't even make it interesting.
I was just like holding her kind of like away from him because I was just like, whoa, you crossed a line.
Why didn't you say it then? Maybe he doesn't know social cues. Maybe he's an old boomer and that's the way we did it back in the day. And it's not to say you do it today. You just say, hey, look, she doesn't like being touched. Thanks, though. That's it. You don't have to be rude. Just be like, hey, she doesn't like being touched. But, yeah, that's it. Who cares? Even if you are rude. Nobody should be touching your child. And you're talking like, again, when she says it like, it's so traumatizing, I was going to be sick, and blah, blah, blah. Like, were you, though? Were you? Or you just didn't care? But you embellish it because you want to tell, you're like, you actually probably relish these moments in public so that you can make videos about them.
Finally, he realized he was supposed to go a floor up, and he left. And then we went into the doctor's office because we got called in right away. And then I'm like talking to Evie today. I was telling Evie, I was like, did you feel uncomfortable? And she was like, yeah, that was weird.
Do you feel uncomfortable about everything we've shared on the internet? Do you feel comfortable with that? Have you ever said that to your child? Nah, you never did, because you don't want to hear the answer. But you're going to get the answer when they're a little older. I promise you that. See, you taught your kid about strangers in public, but you don't talk to your kid about strangers on the internet, the parasocial relationships that have been developed with strangers that they'll never meet, nor ever know who they are in real life. Do you ever talk to them about that? You're scared about an old man in an elevator being an old man in an elevator, but not predators online. That makes sense.
And I was like,
totally makes lots of sense.
Next time, I apologized to Evie because I was like, I'm sorry. I should have like pushed his hand away and said, don't touch my kid. No. And that's what I wish I would have done. Like, hindsight, if I could go back in time, I would have just been like, don't touch her. Sorry, no.
Yeah, that's all you had to do. Just say, don't touch. That's fine. She doesn't like being touched. You don't have to say, and you don't have to be rude. Just say, she doesn't like being touched. Sorry. You know? Be the Canadian guy. But why didn't you? Again, she starts this conversation with saying how traumatizing it is.
I don't want you to touch her. She's obviously uncomfortable.
I'm uncomfortable looking at your face.
Made it weird. And because he made it weird, why can't I make it weird? And
agreed. So make it weird then.
Actually, I'm not even being weird, because guess what is weird? Newsflash, don't touch people's kids.
Agreed. Guess what else is weird? Weirdo? It's putting your kids on the internet for strangers to build relationships with. That's weird. Weirdo. In this world of AI that's coming up, that's scary and weird and dangerous. And the fact that you don't see that is hilarious to me.
Like, Frank, turn that
Where's the
light back
light?
on, please.
Hi, Mom.
If you're treating people's kids like, he could have been a sweet old man that has a bunch of grandkids and that's how he treats his grandkids, fine. But like, this is not your grandkid, so.
Oh, the irony. It's the audacity for me. Like, I get it. You shouldn't. You should absolutely protect a kid in public, but you should also protect him online. And the fact that she's She's sitting here telling the story like she carries the high ground or something, like the moral high ground. It's so crazy to me. Lady, there are millions of people on the internet have seen your kids probably in diapers at every dental and every doctor's appointment. There are people that have seen everything about your children, strangers who could approach them in public or be stalking them. And you don't seem to care about that, weirdo. That's more dangerous. That's more scary. It's the unknown creepers, not an old man in an elevator.
Oh, like my hand's clenched right now.
Oh, is it clenched?
Anyway.
It's a big hand.
Public
Huge hands.
service announcement: if it's not your child or your grandchild or a close friend and they're visibly uncomfortable, don't touch people's kids.
Public service announcement: if you have children, protect them. Don't put them online. Don't exploit them for money. Are we in agreement? Cool.
They ask before they pet a puppy. Then
I know, but it's like
Well, a puppy will bite you. A child might bite you.
ridiculous.
Can I pet your child?
And it's been haunting me all day. And
No, it hasn't. You don't care.
similar things have happened. She's so cute.
Similar things have happened.
People just want to walk up and touch her. And there was a guy, I wanted to tell you guys.
She's, instead of just telling her kid not to be a wanker, she's like, I'm going to go to a different room. Good, though, because it's too loud in there.
Frank came over and turned off the camera while I was talking. So I kept talking and then I realized it was not recording anyway.
Your kids, like, you know, it's so funny. It's what we're seeing here. These kids, they turn the camera off. Do you not think that's a sign of something? Interesting. Yeah, you're talking about people like an old man talking to your little girl in the elevator.
When I was like 15 years old and it was like towards the end of my 9th grade year, I would walk home from junior high school.
And not be in focus?
And I was almost abducted. A man followed me into the church parking lot. I had seen his truck. A few days before this had happened, I noticed that his truck would cross like right in this area at the same time every day. Mm-hmm. And so he was like watching me, knew exactly where I was going to go. I walked through the church parking lot by myself every day. It was very secluded. There was no one over there. Anyway, I remember every little detail of this day.
So she's going to tell you this super traumatizing story about something that happened when she was a kid, and yet totally puts her kids on the internet for everybody and predators to watch all day and doesn't see the irony. Again, no irony here. Do you not catch this at all, lady? Nothing? You don't understand it all? Even though all the stories we've all heard about all the kids who are in danger online? You're about to tell us this crazy story, and yet you don't care about your kids, even though you know and understand how scary something like that is.
Like the max, because it's so traumatizing. But
this is so out of focus.
So here's the church, and there was like an entrance on the one side and then an entrance on the other, and I always went in the like north side entrance. Well, this truck pulled in the south side entrance, and that's when my intuition spiked. I was like, as soon as I walked in there and I saw this truck go in, I immediately was like, so this is not right. Something bad's gonna happen. Hindsight, I wish I would have just turned around.
So you keep saying hindsight about things that she wished she would have done. Maybe your hindsight is wish you wouldn't exploit your children online for the internet to see.
There was like no cell phone. Like I don't even know what I would have done. Obviously I did the right thing because I'm okay, but I remember just being like,
one of your candles is super crooked on that thing.
Oh my gosh, this is scary.
Bugging me. It's crooked. Zoom in on that, Tyson. It's crooked. Fix your candle.
What am I gonna do? But then I was like,
Those are ugly lights too.
Freak out. Like I remember talking myself through it and be like, no, it's fine. Don't freak out. I'm sure that they're just turning around. I'm gonna leave. So I just kept walking towards. There was like a break in the fence. I'm walking on this side of the church. The truck comes in this way, and then he goes and parks right in front of where the
Your nails are ugly. What is going on with your nails?
fence is broken open. So I know he'd been watching me. And at this point,
your camera's not watching you because it cannot focus.
I could choose to walk all the way back, run all the way across like an open parking lot that would be very easy for him to drive in.
Do you not see this is out of focus?
Or,
thank you.
go in front of or behind his truck. It was a little white pickup truck. So at this point, I'm thinking like, do I turn around and run? But then I was like, no, because he could just drive and run me down.
So she turns. Her kid was said by an old man, "Don't hide your smile in an elevator." To like, I almost died of kidnapping, poisoning.
But he unrolls his window, and I'm like, crap. My intuition is just screaming at me like, you're in danger. And he says to me, do you know where the Mortensons live? And I'm like, no.
Yes?
I don't know who that is. And he's like, yeah, you do. I know you know where they live. I think it's just somewhere over here, but I can't remember which house. Will you get in my truck and just show me really fast? And I was like, I don't know those people. I wish I didn't even talk to him. I wish I would have just ran. But I was like,
You should have ran, man.
know who that is. And he was like, I know that you know who they are. Just get in the truck and you can show me. And I was like, no, I'm not getting in the truck. And then he says, have you ever had sex?
Wow, it's that escalated quickly.
He said, have you ever
What?
had sexual intercourse?
He said that to a child, and you didn't get his license plate number? I guess you're a kid, so it's not your responsibility.
This guy
These kids hate her. They keep turning the lights off on her. They hate her.
asks little innocent 14, 15.
Like, this kid's acting out, right? You know that the kid's acting out. He's not just turning the lights off to, like, hates this.
14-year-old me, this question, I didn't even know what it meant, but I heard the word sex.
14-year-old.
Like,
Well, you're Mormon, so.
I'm out of here. So I decided to run in front of his truck because every time I would try to go in front of his truck, he would pull forward. And every time I tried to go behind his truck, he would back up. So he was just going like this as I was trying to get away. And finally, I remember just making the decision when he said that. I was like, run. And I chose to run in front of his truck. And I was like, run me over, kill me dead. I'm not.
That's nice.
Not getting in your truck. I remember thinking that. And so I just started sprinting. I was running so fast. I had my heavy backpack on. And I remember it just like hitting me in the back because I was running so fast. Like I probably did not know I could even run this fast. And I remember
That's adrenaline. Don't underestimate adrenaline.
not even turning around to look back. I was just running as hard, like running for my life. And then when I got home in the neighborhood, I still did not even turn around, just ran. And I remember getting to my front door and going to open the door, and the door was locked. And the
Where are your parents? Oh, you're 14.
horror that I felt inside when that door was locked, I just started screaming and pounding on the door. And that's when I
Way to draw attention.
finally turned around and looked back, and I didn't see anyone. And I was like, okay, so I was just pounding and
So, and you're 14 and obviously dumb, but please, if there's a murderer after you, don't run to your home.
screaming on the door, crying.
Neighbor.
And my older sister, Char, opens the door and she's like, what the heck? Like, and I start telling her the story, and they called the police, and the police came and they were like, did you get a license plate? Describe the person, all these things. And I had nothing.
You couldn't describe the person?
The only description I could give them was that the guy reminded me of the bad police officer off of Terminator, the one that turned into like silver metal, and still to this
You watched The Terminator as a Mormon? I'm telling Joseph Smith on you.
day when I watch that show, I just get like the chills because he did look a lot like that man, like a clean cut, white, middle-aged man. And
I can tell the color of the truck. Nothing.
and I was like, a white truck. Like,
Oh, okay.
I don't know what make and model. I don't know trucks. And I didn't get a license plate because I was on the side of his truck, except for when I was running for my life. Like, there was really
I guess they also
such
didn't have cameras everywhere back in the day. Now they have cameras everywhere.
little information. And I know that he never got caught, which makes me physically ill. So think of that history, that there's like...
Think of that history, and then she's going to point back to this old man in an elevator and not point to the fact that she puts her kids on the internet where thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of predators just like that guy exist on the internet. So she knows, she says it makes her sick and she's so scared he got away. That guy literally could still be out there watching this crap. So she tells us this story that changed her life, and I believe her. I think she told, like, that's scary. That's scary. Absolutely. And so, but she gets concerned about the wrong things. An old man in an elevator with you that's not something to be super concerned about. Obviously it's inappropriate, yes. But you can't connect the dots here? Can't connect the dots to what you're doing to your children online is as dangerous, if not sometimes even more. Like, get real, lady. Be for real.
Hopefully he got caught from something else, because I guarantee this was not his first rodeo trying to get a girl in his truck.
That's crazy.
But I just am sick to my stomach thinking that man could still be out there running free.
Or watching your children on the internet because you literally serve them up to people just like that. Now, I'm not saying the majority of your audience is like that. Absolutely not. A tiny percentage is like that because that's where they go, and they've admitted it. There's been interviews with these predators who say this is where they get their content. I kid you not. In jail, they let them watch this stuff. And this is where they go because they're blocked from other things. But they're allowed to watch this because it's wholesome. Okay? So you were so disgusted at that moment that you could have died and you were so scared, and yet you do not see the reality that you're doing the same thing to your kids only digitally? You cannot be serious, man.
And loose in the world, and that there's probably thousands more like him. So, yeah, hypersensitive to.
You're not hypersensitive. Don't say you're. Do not. If she's about to say I'm hypersensitive to this, no. Clearly you're not, because you would not have taken this route of putting your kids on the internet exploiting them. I'm sorry. You're not hypersensitive to it.
Some stranger talking to my girl. I'm like,
oh my gosh. Oh. The only word is the audacity. It's the only word you can say about this. She's so judgy about this guy. Do you not know that the internet exists or something? Do you not know that it's worse? Do you have your eyes and ears closed? Do you not hearing all the stories? Ave Imagery, all these other ones? You TikTokers are being killed and stalked? Are you not seeing any of this? We're still waiting, obviously, for one of these family vlogger kids to actually suffer something insane from a stalker before anything changes. And honestly, and I've said this a million times, it's what it's going to take for things to change. Is something really, really crazy is going to have to happen. I mean, family vlogging is being looked at through a microscope right now as soon as the 8 passengers thing went down because it went super viral. So, YouTube have meetings about things like this when it goes down. Okay, so this was a family vlogger. It's turning like this. We're seeing a whole bunch of this stuff happen. What are we going to do about it? When this does happen, when something terrible, unmentionable happens to one of these kids because of the reason of family vlogging, that is then and only then will things be changed. And that's what we're waiting for, and it really, really, really sucks.
My daughters, and touching their cheek like that or touching their hair, get away from my freaking kids. So.
Agreed. But what about digitally? What about those men who are probably reaching out to them in their DMs that you might not know about? The predators that are stalking them. Maybe there's boys at their school looking at stuff and content like that. Maybe they're taking your kids' images and voices and turning into AI content. Because there's so much out there about your children, they can pull at ease because you've served it up. What about all that? That doesn't concern you? Crazy, lady!
There's a story of the day for you.
Wow, thanks.
Almost taken. And fun fact, my mom was almost taken by Ted Bundy. So I don't want this to let...
Are you sitting here telling us all this, and yet you don't see the connection between online predators and your family channel? Are you crazy?
Trickle down to any more generations.
Too late, lady. There's probably thousands of predators that watch your children have parasocial relationships with your children that think they're part of your family because you've likely said, welcome to the family.
I'm super protective of my kids.
No, you're not. No, you're not super protective of your kids. Even in that story you weren't, because you didn't do anything. You said, oh, I wish I would have. You didn't. You're not super protective of your children. If you were, I hate when family vloggers say that. I'm so protective. And no, you're not. Then you wouldn't put them on the internet if you were protective of your children. No, you're not.
Anyway.
Liar.
But my mom did. I told my mom's story too on a podcast.
I'm sure you did.
And that's maybe for another day, but it's pretty incredible that she was able to get away.
Like she was kidnapped by him? Really?
She knew him personally. He came into the coffee shop that she worked at all the time. And she did look like his.
So did you just say she was almost kidnapped by Ted Bundy, but you were going to use that? That's kind of gross too. Now, Ted Bundy is obviously, is a serial killer. But don't say she was almost, because you don't know that. You don't know anything like that. But to use that for your clout is crazy.
Girlfriend.
Crazy!
Girlfriend with the long brown hair parted down the middle. If you look at my mom's pictures from high school, she looks exactly like all of his victims, which is...
She sounds like she's flexing on this, that my mom was almost kidnapped by Ted Bundy. That's like... Because she was his type. Don't do that. That's really weird and creepy and gross.
It's like
You're gross for saying that.
I'm crazy, but... All right, I have to end the vlog now.
Wow.
You're sick of hearing me talk.
Yeah, we are. You're crazy.
I'm done, so... Thanks for
Do
watching.
you not see does she not see irony? These people really don't see it, or they don't want to see it?
Vlog, find good in everything. The good I found in this today and what I learned is that I'm not going to be afraid next time to stand up and be like, don't touch my kid.
You're so stupid. Here's what you should have learned from this. Man, there are online predators way more prevalent today than there ever was, obviously. And yet, I don't care about those for some reason. Weird. It's not funny.
And what are you going to say?
And then here's my child.
One tries to touch
Literally.
you again. You're going to kick him and say, don't? No, try again. Be more assertive.
Don't do this on camera, you stupid idiot, because then predators will know what you've told her about strangers. You moron. Just got done saying how it was like traumatized. Your mom almost got kidnapped by Ted Bundy. So man, and then you're like, okay, here's what I'm gonna tell my daughter so that predators know what I've told her.
Pretend like I'm the guy.
You gotta be kidding me.
I want you to say out loud, don't touch me. Feel
She doesn't want to do this. And you talk about like body language and everything, and then you're, are you crazy? Obviously I have her blurred. She talked about body language, how she clearly didn't want to talk to the old man, blah, blah, blah. This kid right now clearly doesn't want to be on camera, and yet you're ignoring that. Oh!
the power. You have the power to say no to someone that's trying to touch you, okay? That you don't want them to touch you. Say it.
Don't touch me.
Yeah, karate kick would work too. Right in the nads. I'm just kidding.
You're not kidding. But also don't do this. Do you really want predators to know what you've told your kid? It sounds like that's the first thing that sounds like the first time she's ever talked about predators with her child. Like at minimum, if you're going to do family vlogging, make sure you have a very, very, very robust safety system put in place for your children, protections and conversations with your kids. Robust from a very young age. Okay. It sounds like that's the first time she's ever said that to her daughter, and she did it on camera. Holy.
Okay. Good night. We'll see you guys
Can't
later.
make it
Bye.
up. Can't make it up, folks. Wow, April and scabies. Gross. You guys are dumb and don't see your irony. Your irony sucks. Your ability to see it, that is. But your ability to be awesome is amazing. Take a deep breath. Wow. We're only 10 days in. No, 11 days? Are we 11 days in? 10 days in. Are we 10 days? 9 days. This is only day 9. A lot of work. But it's not real work because I'm just sitting here doing a video, so it's work though. Gotta get this done. Apparently I got so much to do, it's crazy. My Santa broke. Okay, the butt ripped again. So I got a new one. Kathy got me a new one, and it's not the same. It's like cartoony. It's not the same one. Man, I got all these decorations on my house. It looks amazing, and I had to it's like a full-time job just putting my inflatables up. So anyway, thanks for being here, guys. I hope your magical Christmas is happening magically and stuff. Calories don't count. You are incredible in some kind of something. Don't you forget it. You need to be here. Protect your kids. Please, please, please protect your kids. And regardless of your status, have really, really robust conversations with your children about safety, especially online safety. Do not let your kids on social media. Don't let them on it. They will be influenced by it. Okay? I will see you when I see you.
It's that time of year. DCP's here to snark and to jeer for these buttholes to hear. Don't forget to book your pap smear. Snarkmas 2023.
Ho, ho, ho! Nana, you son of a bitch!